Welcome to Gourmet to Stay, episode 9. No, we're not doing German food this week. You know, one thing that my wife and I love is bubble tea. These weird little tapioca balls in the bottom, they add just such a nice textural element. They also just work really well as a projectile. Multiple takes, right? Some people call it boba, some people call it bubble tea. Same thing. Different kinds of boba, some gels, all kinds of weird textures and fillings into your drink. This week we're taking a look at 3 popular cocktails and we're gonna add that boba bubble tea flair to them. Margarita, mimosa, and Irish coffee. Well, I'd say let's get cooking, but I guess let's get bartending? We're going to start by taking an insulated cooler and filling it with water. This is going to make clear ice that we can use for our cocktails. That normal ice that's all white from your freezer is full of impurities. This insulated container will have the impurities freeze last, making beautiful, clear ice. This is the ideal ice to serve with liquor. It's going to cool down your drinks without adding any extra flavors to what you're putting in. Next, we're going to begin making some of our boba fillings, starting with the Irish coffee. This is a store-bought coffee gelatin, and that's going to add a fun texture to the drink. But you know, we couldn't go this episode without making something from scratch. So we're gonna make some black boba. This will go with our margarita. I highly suggest wearing gloves for this part. Black food coloring will dye your skin, and not very easy to get out. You're gonna wanna knead this dough a lot. You want it to get to a nice light color, and when you're ready for the portioning, you want to make sure that your bobas are about the size of a pea. I actually made mine a little too big. They wouldn't fit through the straw at the end. All this work just for some chewy bubbles. I must be insane. We're also going to make some golden boba, and that's going to go with our mimosa. These are just store-bought ones that I found. You want to make your homemade boba about this size. After cooling your boba off, make a honey and water mixture, and that's what you're going to store them in. This keeps them from sticking together and makes them nice and sweet. While we check out these finished bubbles, hit that subscribe button, it really helps us out. Now that our coffee jelly has set, we're going to cut it into tiny little matchsticks that'll fit through our straw. Now for our Irish coffee, I'm actually going to make coffee my favorite way, which is Vietnamese style. We're going to hand press 2 shots of espresso and then mix it with some sweetened condensed milk. This is going to make a coffee base that's both very strong and sweet. We're going to top it with a little whipped cream. Now let's head over to our bar to mix these drinks up. It might look a little familiar to you. That's because that's where we shoot our intro. First up is the Irish coffee with Vietnamese coffee. Now for the boba margarita. Make sure you're using fresh squeezed lime juice. The difference is night and day. And last but not least, we're gonna do a mimosa. Let's take a look at what we end up with. Now those are some fun summer cocktails, and adding the boba and jelly just makes it even more unforgettable. Make sure to serve it with the big fat straws so you don't get that stuff stuck in there. We're doing new fusion recipes every week, so comment below and let me know what you want to see next. This week's episode was the first Thelma didn't get to be a taste tester. What a poor dog.